Hello world, it's Berto Prey 5 Qapla, and welcome to my live commentary for Watchmen Season 1, Episode 1, as it will be appearing on HBO tonight. And there goes the echo. Okay, all fixed. Now, first, what this is not. This is not a way to watch Watchmen without HBO. I'm sorry, I cannot put the full episode on my YouTube account. It would be deleted immediately, as would my account. So please, if you are trying to find the full episode of Watchmen, you can find it on HBO or HBO Go or HBO Now. Any of those. It is not on YouTube. Nobody on YouTube has it. If they claim to have it, they're lying. I'm not claiming I have it. I am just going to do live commentary once the episode actually starts. We're about 15 minutes, 14 minutes away from it premiering at 9 p.m. Once it starts at 9 p.m., I will bring it up in my browser, and I will watch it. I have my headphones in. You guys will not be able to hear it, but you will be able to hear me comment on what's going on. That is the point of tonight's stream, and there will be a little bit of the picture on the view screen behind my head. There's a lot of static. It needs to be there. But if you are watching, I'll let you get some idea of where we are in the episode so you can line up my commentary. It is not going to be a way of watching the show. Trust me, I know. So just don't waste your time. If you're just looking for a way to watch the show, I'm sorry you found this, but it's not this. With that said, we have about 12, 13 minutes to go, so let me get to the comments. John Araki with a $1 super chat. Thank you so much, John Araki. Greatly appreciated. And Mike Richards says, greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Greetings, Mike Richards. Now, it's showing 8 people watching right now. However, 9. Now it's 9. I'm not sure if the regular crowd is here or not, since I already did a stream earlier today. John DeMarco says, hello all. Welcome, John DeMarco. Do guys remember to switch on over to live chat from top chat if you're going to be hanging out here tonight. Basically, I keep checking to see if HBO releases it early. They have not yet. Mr. Londell, Groovy Movie says, hey, welcome, Mr. Londell. Bob Dog, welcome, Bob Dog. Howdy, Bob Dog. So yeah, there are some well-known YouTubers, some of my favorites, like Gary from Nerdrotic and Doomcock, who are going to be streaming after the show is over on the Inquisition, and I strongly urge people to watch that show. However, like I found out with the Game of Thrones last few episodes, there were a lot of shows before the episode started. There were a lot of shows after the episode started, after the episode finished. I have to mute the sound. But there were no shows going on as the show was going on. And once I started doing shows, YouTube videos, while Game of Thrones was going on, giving my live commentary, I started getting videos with 20, 30,000 views, 40,000 views. I think as high as 48,000 views on the Game of Thrones season finale, with over 2,000 people in the chat. Now that might not sound a lot for somebody like Nerdrotic with 126,000 subscribers, but I had 300 subscribers at the time, and 2,000 people in the chat. Over 2,000. So, I've never seen Watchmen. I've never read the comic book. Before today, I didn't even know it was a comic. I've kept hearing people talk about Watchmen for the last few weeks, but I just kind of ignored it, as I often ignore things I don't understand. And it was only this morning when I said, hey, I should stream my reaction to it as a someone with no, because I knew it was something that they were bringing back, they were rebooting or something. So I said, hey, I could give my commentary as somebody who's never seen it before, and, you know, like my honest opinion of the show. I know, you know, there are a lot of big YouTubers who think this show is going to suck, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who think it's going to be great. I have no preconceived notions either way. I don't know what the comic, I mean, I only read about the comic this morning. Apparently it deals with an alternate history where, due to the intervention of, I believe, some type of superhero, the United States won the Vietnam War. And also due to the intervention of, like, superheroes or supervillains or whatever they might be, like super type people, Nixon got away with Watergate, and not only did he get away with it, they passed a constitutional amendment so he could run for president, abolishing the term limits. So he was able to run for president many times and win, like FDR did. So we had a very different history from Vietnam on. And Thomas Potts with $1.99 super chat says, yay, it's DS9 Wednesday. Thomas, it is Watchmen Sunday. However, and you got Morn. Couldn't have been more relevant. But no, it is, we are in the USS Defiant tonight because it was the best scene I had for watching an episode and commenting on it. If this Watchmen thing takes off, then I will make a custom scene for it for next week of Watchmen stuff. But if it doesn't, then we'll just pretend it never happened, as we can easily do on YouTube. Mike Richard says the notifications worked. Mamo Pray says, hi all, please hit that like. Thank you, Mamo Pray. Mike Richard says, I often ignore things I don't understand. Mike Richards, I swear that is an actual and 100% true thing about me. It's a weakness, but I will just, if I don't understand something, I just ignore it. That is literally what I do. Now, 99% of the time, it works just fine. You'd be amazed. You would be amazed at how often you can just ignore something you don't understand, and it goes away, it works itself out, it never comes back to bite you. However, sometimes it's very bad. So, but it's a weakness, probably my biggest weakness. And now you know it, is that I ignore things I don't understand. So if you want to get something past me, you've got to, you put it in a way that I don't understand it, and my brain will just say, I can't figure this out, and just like ignore it as irrelevant data, even though it might be very relevant data. I don't know how else to explain it, but that's my biggest weakness, and you found it out. So now I have to have a different weakness. Wesley Crusher says, Berto Pray 5 more today. Cool. Yes, in fact, this is not my second stream of the day. It's my third stream of the day. And you're saying, what third stream? I only got 2 notifications. Well, if you subscribe to the Berto Pray 5 X channel, which you can do right now at bertopray5.com, the Berto Pray 5 X channel, my experimental channel for things I don't put up on the main channel, you would have seen I streamed at 7 a.m. Eastern this morning because I was testing out Streamlabs. And I had a, relatively brief, 20-minute, 30-minute stream this morning where we got to work out Streamlabs, and it worked pretty well. And that's on the Bird of Prey 5X channel, if anyone's interested. It only has 33 subscribers, so I assumed it was my biggest fans. But you guys could check it out. Tiki of Doom says, Qapla, who watches the Alpaca Men? I don't know, maybe Cinnabon. Richie Pools says, hello, Bird, hello, all. What are we doing? Why are we men watching tonight? Personally, I prefer watching women, but okay. Well, I believe there will be a fair amount of women in the TV show Watchmen. Richie Pool. Miss Londell's Groovy Movies says, Bird of Prey, make sure you check out the movie sometime. I will, especially if I enjoy tonight's episode. Mike Richards says, King Nixon sounds like hell to me. Well, I mean, if you didn't know that Watergate happened, Nixon did create the EPA. He in this world, he won the Vietnam War. So it doesn't sound like he was a terrible president. Mamo Prey is saying her father voted for Nixon in '60 against Kennedy. Yeah, in '60 he had the election stolen from him. Yeah, I mean, how many of you guys intend to watch it when it comes on? In 2 minutes. Oh boy, 2 minutes. Sounds like the origin of the Bureau universe. It could be, John. It could be. Thomas has pretended it didn't happen like that battle earlier. That's exactly right. Sci-Fi Nation says, Bird of Prey, all hail the great state of Karogar. Long live its hero. Dear leader, conqueror of the turd stains of Turdistan, Bird of Prey 5. Thank you, Sci-Fi Nation. Wesley says, Bird of Prey, when I don't understand something, I study it. I study a lot of things. You know, that's probably a better reaction, Wes, but I've gotten this far by just ignoring. Mike Richards says, Bird of Prey, if it works 99% of the time, that's good enough for me. Exactly. Cinnabon says, what do I like to watch? Men. Alpaca Men. John DeMarco says, now that you mention it, Watchmen isn't very inclusive. It should be watch people. Yeah, it should. Richie Pool says, I got the first notification today because I'm subscribed to Bird of Prey 5X. I subscribed because I thought it would feature X-rated material. Big disappointment. Sci-Fi Nation says, John DeMarco as a person, that statement offends me. And Miss Lindell says, don't have HBO anymore, so I won't be watching. And John DeMarco says, good point, watch Beings. Okay, so let's check if Watchmen is out. It still says, coming soon. Watch season premiere tonight. So we tried 2 minutes early, and it's not out 2 minutes early, so. Sci-Fi Nation, I don't pay for overpriced cable or satellite. Happy to listen in. Very cool, Sci-Fi. Although, just to be clear, obviously I can't play the audio of Watchmen. I will just tell you what I guess is going on and my reaction to what's going on. Carlo says hello. Welcome, Carlo. Carlo, I don't know what Anti-Trekker built, but it took a bite out of my ship tonight in Space Engineers. Another 5 minutes, and it might have penetrated the shield. I think a lot of the damage I took, though, wasn't actually from Anti-Trekker. I think it was from my own weapons on the ship, just damaging, like friendly fire type stuff. I got to try to figure out what the heck was going on with that. Okay, we're still on watch trailer. Eventually it will come up. See the season premiere tonight. It's 9 p.m. It should be out. Still says trailer. Watchmen. Season 1, Episode 1. It's summer, and we're running out of ice. Okay, guys. We're about to start. It does begin. It does begin. Oh, obviously, I'm not going to be able to read all the comments from this point on. It's an hour and 3 minutes as it loads. Just seeing a bunch of dots. They're stealing children. Oh, I think this is a preview for something else. I'm seeing bears attack each other. Something. Okay, that was a preview for something else. And we got the HBO logo. Watchmen, and it's a projector. It reminds me of Man in the High Castle. You see a guy riding a horse in an old western, and it's like really like 1920s, 1910s even film. A guy on a black horse lassos a guy on a white horse, and then people come running out of a little farmhouse, a little church. Oh, it's a silent movie. Where have you been? You, sheriff, are a scoundrel. Who stole your cattle? I don't know. And okay. So the guy takes off his hood, and it turns out he's an African-American guy. And all the white people in the schoolhouse are shocked. Don't you know who this is? Bass Reeves. And he shows he's a U.S. Marshal deputy out of Oklahoma, Texas, and all of the people are so happy. They're shocked. And now it's panning away from the movie screen, and we're seeing a big empty theater. And there's somebody playing the piano, which is what I guess they did back in the day. Lynch the thief, it's saying. And there's a small African-American boy sitting in the theater alone. And it looks like perhaps his mother or sister is the one playing the piano. And there was a loud noise, and the theater is shaking, and dust comes from the ceiling. The kid yells for his mom. Another guy comes running in, could be the father, gives the gun to the mother. It looks like there's some type of attack going on. And it looks like World War I, Tulsa, 1921. There are World War I planes flying down the main street of Tulsa, Oklahoma. A lot of it's an African-American neighborhood. People are being shot by the planes in the streets. It's chaos. It's utter chaos. The father is running with the kid. A car runs up on the sidewalk. They try to hide behind it. There's some white people. The white people are pushing the black people to the ground. They've lit stores on fire. They're Klansmen. They're wearing white robes. The wife was about to shoot one. The husband pointed the gun down. Didn't want to make a noise, so the husband, the kid, and the wife are running away. Most of the people are just standing around. They're not really doing anything. We got a guy on a white horse. Bullets whiz by. Somebody saying, "Watch out." It's a bad situation. It is a bad situation. they go into a commercial or industrial place. Somebody says they go in, and the guy says, "Hey, there's no room. I told you there's no room." And he says, "Okay, then just take the boy." So the mother's telling the kid he's going to go with this guy, and you're going to take him someplace safe. And the kid says, "What about you?" And the mother lies and said, "We'll be right behind you." The father seems to be writing a note. He puts the note in the kid's pocket. He says, "Get the thumb out of your mouth, kid, and be strong." He doesn't tell him about the note, but the kid knows the note's there. So now the kid has to lay down in the back of a horse-drawn wagon, and they close the cover so nobody knows this kid is in the wagon. Oh, it's not a wagon, it's an old car. Anyway, bullet holes are being shot through where the kid is, and one of the bullet holes the kid is looking out of, and he sees a pickup truck dragging two black men down the street, and then a plane was flying over, and it looked like it was dropping bombs, even though those planes didn't have bombs. But things were blowing up. And now the kid woke up. It's nighttime. Obviously, they got somewhere safe. Yeah. I'm not commenting about men. Mike Richards says, "Don't start censoring your speech now. We'll think you've been replaced by an anti-trigger clone." I'm not censoring speech. I'm just calling it as I see it. Okay, so the car, it was an old car, not a horse-drawn carriage. The car seems on its side. The little kid pulled out the note that his father wrote, and it says, "Watch our..." I couldn't read it. "Watch our this..." Oh, so now the kid hears a baby crying. The adults are all dead, it looks like. Yeah, baby cries. Kid is looking. They're in the middle of a field. There's a kid in a hole. And the baby cries. The kid puts a blanket on the baby and picks the baby up. So we have like maybe a 6-year-old kid carrying a little girl baby who likes to cry. The kid tells the baby she's okay, and the baby stops crying. So you know it's fiction. Actually, I don't think it's a blanket. I think it might be an American flag. It's a lot of red and white stripes. So the kid looks back, and there's just a bunch of fire on the horizon. I assume that's where he came from. That's Tulsa. And it says, now behind him is a sign that says, "It's summer, and we're running out of ice." So now a song starts, like almost a rap song, a hip-hop song. I don't know. Diamonds in the face, crushed up. Diamonds in the face, crushed up. I can see it. Diamonds in the face. Diamonds in the face. Half a ticket for my wrist. It's so big. I put 5 corners in the face. You can see it. I have no idea what this song is. It's still playing. So, okay, it's modern, more modern times now. There's a car driving, and police are pulling somebody over. It's I would say it's 1990s by the look of the cars. There's a white guy in the car with a baseball cap. He had like a big, like a 7-Up Big Gulp or something. 7-Up, 7-Eleven Big Gulp or something. He puts his hands on the wheels. He knows the deal. Cop comes over and says, "This interaction is being recorded. Do you consent?" The guy says, yes, sir. Cop says, it's 9:35 p.m., September 8th, 2019. Can I see your driver's license? How are you doing tonight? He says, fine, thanks. How are you? And the cop says, what are you drinking there? And the guy says, Coca-Cola, sir. Cop asks, what's he hauling? Because it's a pickup truck. The guy says, lettuce. Yes, sir. Cop says, can I take a look? And the guy asks, can I take a look at your face? The cop is wearing a yellow mask. The guy asks, can I take a look at your face? Because the guy is wearing a yellow mask. And the cop says, what did you just say to me? And the guy apologizes. He says, the cop wants a license and registration. The guy correctly says they're in the glove compartment, gets permission for opening the glove compartment. Before he does so, the cop tells him to go ahead. And you can tell it's a very high tension stop. Honestly, it's like every stop I've ever had, I've told the police officer it's in the glove compartment. Got permission before I've opened it. Okay, so the cop goes back to his car. He takes off his mask. It's a black guy. He's calling in for backup. He's saying the subject refused a search of his truck, and he's seen contraband in his truck. They said, what type of contraband? And he said, it's a rosary mask. And they said, are you sure? He said, I saw it. And so they're saying, what's the probability of drugs or alcohol or firearms? And he says, very high. It's a high chance. He needs backup. I think he's charging. He's trying to charge. Oh, he needed permission. Okay, so the cop doesn't carry a gun. The gun was locked down, and he had to call in for permission to release the gun, and it took him 2 tries to release the gun. And by the time he got the gun released, the guy from the truck already shot through the windshield and killed him. So the cop's dead, and now the guy from the truck put on his own mask, and now he threw a head of lettuce at the cop. So he was carrying lettuce. Okay, so now there's a play going on, a musical. It's all African American cast. Oklahoma. They're singing Oklahoma. The audience is the lights are very dark. I can't tell if it's an all African American audience or just mostly. So we got they're doing Oklahoma. Okay, it's not okay. So it's a mixed audience. It's a mixed audience. There's a guy wearing a hat, like a cop, just walked down. He's talking to somebody, and somebody gave a note, like, I don't know if he's the mayor or something. So the police just pulled somebody out of, and we still hear Oklahoma in the background. This guy's wearing a cowboy hat. He got pulled out, and he's meeting with somebody who's in a mask. The guy says, next room over. Oh, and it's the cop that got shot. He's not dead. He's just been gravely injured. So they're running background checks on all the orderlies and nurses that saw his face. So I guess in this future, cops are keep their faces covered. So this guy saying that they've got roadblocks up. They sent units to the house, and they said that the house was boarded up. So they're calling. The guy in charge is asking if it's cavalry, and the other guy says most likely. So the guy in charge says, why would they start this up again? And they're saying there was a head of lettuce in Sutton's car. He believes this was romaine lettuce. So the guy asks if there was any croutons. And the other guy says not that he could ascertain. Says, you don't start a war over goddamn lettuce, Wade. So he tells Wade to pull down his mask. I don't understand. This is stupid from your description. Glad I'm not watching, says Mr. Lundell. Watchmen had nothing to do with race. This is dumb, says Tiki. Is it a Western? No, it's not really a Western, but it looks like it's taking place in Oklahoma. So, cop went to the wife's home, I guess, and they're telling her, I guess, that the husband's been shot. I assume. She knocks on the door, says, Mrs. Sutton, there was a shooting. Charlie's in surgery. And he says when he's out, they're going to move him to a secure medical facility. And the wife says, okay. Then he goes, can she go see him? And the guy says, of course. So the guy's asking the wife if he's told anyone he was police. And the wife says, no, that was against the rules. And the guy says, yeah, but people still talk. And the wife assures him he did not talk. And he's asking the wife, where did he tell folks where he was going when he was on shift? And the wife said at night he told them he was going to schools for engineering. So the cop guy in charge says we're going to say it was a carjacking. He was leaving school and that's when he got shot. So the wife said something. The wife said he liked the guy. And the guy said, oh, he likes me. But. There's always a but. No, he likes me, and he touched the wife's hands. The woman is saying egg whites are made of protein, and when you whip them, they're made of what? Egg whites are made of protein. If you whip them, you get bubbles, and the bubbles are made of walls, and without walls, it all comes crumbling down. And you've got to separate the yolk from the whites, because if even a little yolk gets mixed in with the whites, I guess it doesn't work. I don't know. I prefer my eggs together. So it's school children, and they're eating cookies. It's a bombilla. So the woman. So the woman is saying when she was a girl in Vietnam, now she's an African American woman. When she was born there, they called them moon pies. And so the teacher asked, "Oh, were you born in Vietnam before or after it became a state?" She said before, and she grew up in Vietnam. She became a police officer. So she had become a police officer. That was before police officers were allowed to wear masks, and the bad people would know who the police were. So the bad people knew where she lived. She knew who she was. So the bad people came to the house and shot her, and she had to have surgery. They had to tear her insides out. The teacher politely coughs because okay, I don't know what just happened, but apparently the woman said she'd rather bake cookies than be shot at, so that's why she became a baker. And then a little white kid asked, "Did your red formations pay for it?" She said, "Excuse me." He said, "Your bakery. Did your red formations pay for it?" Which I don't know. Is that like reparations? But the daughter attacked the kid. The daughter attacked the kid that asked the question, and now the daughter and the mother are driving home, and the mother's asking, "Why did you attack him?" Daughter said, "'Cause he's racist," and the mother says he's not racist. He's 10 years old, but he's off to a good start. So now an air raid siren went off, and I don't know. It looks like fish or shrimp are pouring down. It looks like rain, but it looks like shrimp are hitting the car. I don't know how else to explain it. Or is it? I don't know what the hell. It looks like dead shrimp. It's raining dead shrimp. And it was a passing shower. The air raid sirens stopped, and now the mother got out of the car and is cleaning the windows. Okay, they're not shrimp, but they're something alive. There's some weird living creature that the mother just squeegeed off the windows of her car. The girl says it smells, and the mother says, "At least your nose is working." Anyway, the mother had also said during her speech at school that she was a police officer during the White Night, and that she was attacked, so something happened. So it looks like they're at home, and a pager went off while she was at school. It's like, it says, "Go to Little Bighorn." The husband is asking, "What's Little Bighorn?" And the wife, I'm assuming is saying, "I've got to go to the bakery." Now they have a white daughter. I don't care, but it's a black couple with a little white girl daughter. And they have an American flag, but it's not quite an American flag. It's got a round, and there's a blimp. There's a blimp flying over that looks like no blimp I've ever seen. And the African American woman, mother, I guess she's the main character, is headed to the bakery. There's a lot of artwork on the walls featuring a lot of other African Americans. You see somebody reading a newspaper. Now the bakery says opening soon. And the guy is asking if she owns this place. And she says it's going to open in a couple months. And he says he'll wait. And he's asking her if she thinks he could lift 200 pounds. And he says, sure you could. And he's in a wheelchair. She locks the door behind him. Behind her, I don't know if she thinks he's a threat. But this bakery is, there's no bakery. Nothing that looks remotely like a bakery. She goes inside. There's a secret code she has to enter. And she opens a door. And obviously this bakery is, okay, so she's like a superhero. And this is her secret lair. And all of her technology is there. She's putting stuff on. Now there's music playing. She's in a car that she's driving around like it's the Dukes of Hazzard. She's got a full mask on. It looks like we just saw an American flag, an actual American flag. She popped the hood, so she's wearing a hoodie with a cape. And there was some graffiti that said F something. So now she just pushes in a trailer, and she punches a white guy in the face, knocks him down. Now she's walking through a parking lot. She's going up to she looks like a police officer. And she's walking through two police officers, gets into an elevator. They don't question why she's in a mask. Oh my God. It sounds like Doomcock. It says soon the accumulated filth, the black filth will be washed away. Soon. Oh my God. It honestly sounds like Doomcock. He says, we are the 7th Cavalry. We are no one. We are everyone. We are invisible. He keeps talking about how they're going to wipe away all the black people. Do not stand between us or a mission, or there will be more dead cops. There are so many deserving of retribution. There's so little time. And that time is near. Wow. It's like they copied Doomcock's voice. Tick-tock, tick-tock. When he's wearing the mask voice. So the cavalrymen chanting tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. So from now on, if you say tick-tock, you're a racist. Tick-tock, tick-tock. And the chanting stops. So somebody comes in, the cavalry is back. So the guy is addressing all the police. He says, 3 years of peace. We convinced them they were gone, but they were just hiding. But luckily, we know where their pads are. Said, sweep into Nixonville. Panda pulls out the rules. So there's somebody wearing a panda mask, a dirty panda mask. Somebody's dressed like the Flash. So they're getting a resolution or Article 4. If a majority of the police force think their life is under direct and immediate threat, there's a 24-hour, they can have 24 hours of deadly force. Firearms release is authorized. The panda tells the chief he's making a mistake. And the chief says, it's my funeral. So the police are like their own secret organization here. And they're all going to get their guns for a day, which really excites them. I don't know which side to root for. I don't think there's any good guys. So now the lady who was the mother and the superhero has her feet up on the desk of the police chief, and she's asking why she didn't get she said she wanted to know why she didn't get a call, and she didn't get the call to go until 2 hours later. And she blames him. She says you're mad at her because he had to sit through Black Oklahoma. And he said that Black Oklahoma was delightful. She said, you're not allowed to say that. So the woman says there's a guy in her trunk. And she said, I knew you were going to tell me to round up the likelies. I just got to jump on things. He said, you knew? And she says, yes. And the guy says, how do you know he's 7K? And she's like, I got a nose for white supremacy, and he smells like bleach. So, put him in the pod, she asks. And the chief says, put him in the pod. Put him in the pod. I can't imagine we'll be doing this again next week. Let me tell you. I don't know what the hell they're doing with this. Okay, so a guy in a mask is telling the guy in the pod he's going to ask a series of questions, answer them honestly, and you can go home. And he says, do you know why you're here? He says, yeah, bitch dressed like a nun kicked in my door and locked me in her trunk. The guy says, you are correct. And then the guy who's he's questioning says he wants his lawyer. And the other guy in the mask says, we don't have to do that for terrorists. And the other guy says, I'm not a terrorist. And now the pod is playing music, and there's all different backgrounds playing, like a sensory like now the moon landing is being played on it. He's asking if I defecated on the American flag, how would that make you feel? He doesn't know what defecated means. And now we see Richard Nixon on the Mount Rushmore. So he's saying, are you a member of, or do you associate with members of the white supremacist group known as the 7th Cavalry? And he says no. Do you believe that trans-dimensional attacks are hoaxes staged by the U.S. government? He says, I don't know, maybe. He again asks, are you a member of the 7th Cavalry? Should all Americans pay taxes? He says, yes. And again, he asks about the white supremacist 7th Cavalry. Again, he asks. And again, he asks. He keeps saying, no, no, no. There's American flags. There's Nazi flags. There's all random stuff playing all around him. A Rorschach ink block test. I don't know. Ink blot test. Anyway, the guy lifts his hand. The stuff all stops. And he walks out of the pod. And he closes the door. I mean, it's like a futuristic door. And the guy takes off his mask. He's talking to the woman, says that he knows, but he's not going to talk. He says the eyes dilated all over the Rorschachs. He's sure. So the chief of police is sitting there, and the woman who's the superhero says, like I said, bleach. So she puts on her mask again. Cop got shot, so we're all a little wound up here, she says. But that's no excuse for how I treated you. She's apologizing. She's apologizing to the guy. And she says she appreciates his understanding. And now she again attacks him and throws him into a room, locks him in. And he's saying, F you, where is he? Where is he? There's people attacking him, I guess. I don't know if he's in there with an animal or if there's just somebody in there beating the shit out of him. He's getting the crap beat out of him. He's groaning. The woman's in there with him. Oh, now there's a pool of blood on the floor. She just says cattle ranch. So they're going to the cattle ranch. That's where everybody is. 2 minutes with her, and he gave up all the info. Wow, she is just super great. Yes, there are 4 lights. He broke so quickly. You know, she is just so great at her job. She is so great at beating the crap out of people that they give up exactly what they weren't going to give up. Yeah, cops always say that. Yeah. Oh, it looks like 4. Maybe 5. But not lights. People in the house. So I don't know what they're doing. They're taking apart dozens of watches. And they're putting all the pieces into a bucket. Now there's a red light alarm buzzing in the house. They're yelling cops. They detected the cops. So the superhero, and I use that in quotes, lady goes running towards the house, and I don't understand. They're giving everybody, are they giving them bullets? Are bullets that restricted here? People make a run for the pickup trucks. Oh no, they've got tons of bullets. They're loading a bunch of automatic machine guns, and they're just going to town. But of course everybody, they're killing all the cows. It's a massacre. The cows are being shot. The humans are able to get around through luck and hiding behind the dead carcasses. They're throwing grenades. Now they're shooting back. Now the woman has a pistol where all the other people shooting both sides have automatic weapons. The woman has a single shot at a time pistol. Oh, and now she says they have an effing plane. They have a little Cessna. What the hell are they going to do with a Cessna? Oh my God. These cows' bodies are absorbing so much. I mean, this guy's literally got like a frickin' gun that would be on a tank. And a single cow carcass is protecting the lady. So now they have to reload that big gun, which takes a little bit. And so she goes running right at the pickup truck, and she shoots somebody, kicks another guy, and kicks a third person. And oh my God, she is so good. And she chases somebody in, and a guy gets to jump on her, but of course she overpowers him. She pushes him on the floor. Now she's beating the crap out of him. Pushes his face into a toilet or something. It's very dark. It's very hard to see what's going on. I mean, it's a fighting scene. It's hard to tell. Okay, she won. Oh, he took. Okay, what they gave them were cyanide pills. So he showed her that he just took a cyanide pill. And she said, fuck her, F her, take it out, take it out. And she's pissed now. He killed himself. And he's looking up at the ceiling. And it looks like some type, I don't know. It looked like almost a Captain America or something. So the guy said, pill, effing coward. This is the guy who's dressed like the Flash. He's a cop. And now the plane takes off. They're taking off. They're way under you. So they let this plane take off, even though they knew there was a plane. So now the other cops, what do they have? It looks like they have some type of, I don't know what. It looks like there's a cockpit. They're in some type of flying machine. It doesn't look like a plane. It doesn't look like, I don't know what it is. It's too dark to see what's going on. But he's got some fancy gun on it. And somebody's saying, go higher, go higher. And the chief overrides the pilot, even though the pilot says the ship can't take it. And you see now something's exploding in the sky. The ship, the captain overrode the pilot. And now the ship is crash lands. So the ship crash lands, but it's the kind of landing where you expect they probably survived. And after it stopped, the woman, the main character, runs over to it. I don't know what this is. It looks like part UFO, part blimp. I mean, it's the size of a large SUV, maybe a small school bus, but it honestly looks like something Anti-Trigger's made in Space Engineers. So yeah, everybody's okay inside of it. And she just starts laughing because the chief of police asks her if she's okay, and she's laughing hysterical and says, "Ah, shit, ha 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 ha." And now they're all sitting around laughing because they just survived. She says, "What the F?" And they're still all laughing like it's the funniest thing that ever happened to them. Wow. So now we got some classical music playing. And I don't know. They panned up at the stars. Now it's the hillsides. The meadows. There's a castle in the trees. There's mist on the ground. There's a rider on a horse. It's a white horse. He's riding up to a castle. He goes through an archway on a castle. It's a white guy. I can't be... Oh, it looks like the chief of police. And they say, "Welcome home, master." And he says, "Thank you, alpaca." Oh, Alfonso. Okay, it's not the chief of police. It's just some other old white guy. He is now typing, apparently in the nude. He's got like a 1920s typewriter. It looks like he's naked, and there's a woman in a maid costume on her knees next to him. What the hell is this? Anyway, his butler comes in and says, should he dress him? And he says something so formal. The guy, he asks, is it a special occasion? And the butler says, yes, it's your anniversary. The maid is I have no idea. So the maid and the butler are now singing for He's a Jolly Good Fellow, which nobody can deny. And the guy blows out a single candle on a honeycomb cake. He says it looks delicious. The butler asks if he'd like to cut it, sir. And the guy gives him a horseshoe. And the guy says, "That's a horseshoe, Mr. Phillips." And so the guy apologizes and says, "Would a knife be more appropriate?" And the guy says, "No, don't bother," and just sticks a fork in and eats a piece. He's eating. He says, "It's the bee's knees." He eats one piece and then gives it back to the butler to take away. And now the butler gives him, it looks like a crocheted something, or a little teddy bear. I don't know. And he says, "Happy anniversary, master." Okay, it's a clock. It's like a what's that called? A wristwatch. So the guy said, I tried my very best to try to get it to function. I wanted to surprise him. And the guy's very impressed, says, "It's exquisite, Mr. Phillips." Says, "Speaking of surprises, I have a surprise for you." He started writing a play. A tragedy in 5 acts. When it's finished, he wants the two of you, meaning the maid and the butler, to play the leading roles. And he's pouring them champagne. He's saying, "What do you call it, master?" "The Watchmaker's Son" is the title of the play. So they all say, "To the Watchmaker's Son." And now we've gone back to the present, and it's the woman's table. There's it's the chief of police's table. They're all around like a dinner table. There's kids and there's adults, and they're all laughing. Anyway, the girl's saying, "My mommy quit her job too. She was a policeman." And then that's the main character. She said, "I didn't quit. I retired." So they're saying, the little girls are saying the mother's going to take the TV away. No TV for anybody. So the chief of police says it was totally worth getting ditched for Oklahoma. The husband said, "Ditched for what?" So the husband has no idea what's going on. So the wife said, "I spared him." So the wife says, "Babe, you hate musicals." And the police chief says, "Nobody hates Oklahoma." And the police chief's wife says, "You told me their hearts weren't in it." And then they said, "Who's Hurley? He's the star of Oklahoma." Now they're all yelling, "Sing, sing." So now the police chief is singing Oklahoma. Why do I take the trouble to bake my favorite pie? Don't take my arm too much. I don't know. So he's singing Oklahoma and dancing and kissing the kids. Your hand feels so grand in mine. People will say we're in love. And now he's hugging the husband. He's dancing with the husband in the chair. Now he's got his arms around the husband's wife. That's not cool, dude. No, he's holding her a little too tight. He's holding her a little too tight in good company. Now he's going to his wife, and he's on his knee, still singing. People will say we're in love, and now he kisses his wife, and everybody applauds. And a clock is ticking. Crawford says, watch batteries. Pulled a couple hundred out of them. So he says, can't you just buy them at a store? And the woman says, no, can't buy them at a store anymore. They're the old kind, lithium, the type that was making everybody sick. And she says, but that effer in the video said they had a mission and it was going to happen soon. Aren't you worried? And the police chief says, no, I'm worried as F. And then the wife comes out and says, hey, what are you two talking about? It's taking so long. He says, nothing, just the ending of the world. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. So the main character is upset. Then a man's voice says, the clock is ticking. You're running out of time. Evil is rising. There's a comedian, motion man, dollar bar, what? Okay, so there's some video playing on a wall, American Hero story, tomorrow, and the police chief is saying that the shooter took some type of poison pill before we could interrogate him. And he asked the wife how he did. The wife says he sounded very confident. And he says that's because he's full of confidence. The wife says she noticed some of it coming out of his nose at dinner. So it's been a tough week. I picked a bad week to stop sniffing glue. No, he didn't say that, but it would have been much better. Oh, he's getting a pager. There's still pagers. He got a page from the hospital. The cop just woke up. He's going to change into his uniform and he's going to go see him. The wife says, baby, maybe you shouldn't drive. And he says, I'll get one of the boys to take me. Gives him a kiss, and he says, you don't have to wait up for me. So, okay, all these cops have their masks on, except the chief. The chief doesn't get to wear a mask. I guess it's good they know who the chief is. So, there's a truck driving down a road, and like the lights only light up as the truck passes the lights. I don't know what that meters. So, something about more land we can't live on, more animals we can't eat, and a 6-month wait to get a gun for our own protection. He's pissed. Pissed at what's been going on. I didn't hear the whole story, but... Okay, a couple of shots rang out, and the guy in the pickup truck, who I believe is the chief of police, pulls over and stops, and I think he sees that his front tire might have been shot out. Again, it is so incredibly dark, you can't even tell what the hell's going on. So why is he walking backwards? So, it was a spike strip. I don't know how they expect people to see this, but he drove over a spike strip in the street, and now there's a bunch of lights flickering, like a strobe light in his eye. And now they cut to the husband and wife having sex, graphic sex. Not what I want to see, but it's going on, and she's getting a phone call, and I guess she likes to be choked a little. He's saying we should answer that, and she's saying, no, I'm close. Oh my God. Oh my God. Says it's gonna wake up the kids. No, you're gonna wake up the kids. She's like, God damn it. So now she picks up the phone in hate, but it's the cop's dead. Is this Angela Abar on the phone? She says, yes. Is your father Marcus Abar? And she says, who's this? Who is this? He said, the big oak tree out in Rolling Hill. Something you need to see there. I know who you are, so don't wear no goddamn mask. And I'm sorry, that's just the accent I'm trying to duplicate. How is she going to explain this to her husband? Oh, there's a shotgun behind the bed, another gun in the fireplace. She gives the pistol. She gives a pistol to the husband. Says, watch the street. If anybody pulls up before me, shoot them before they get to the porch. Husband says, okay. He lets the wife go out with her shotgun, and she is driving, I guess, to this tree to see what the hell's going on. Better come look at this cliche, says Life with Matthew. She was not servicing him. Pocket watch. Yes, not a wrist watch, a pocket watch. I'm sorry. Thank you, Chris Mercer. Kurogan chill. This sounds overly complicated. Sounds overly something. So the woman comes up. There's a big bright light. She yells, turn it off, I'll shoot. And she aims the gun at the light. And I think it's the chief of police hanging from a tree. But I'm not sure. We just see feet hanging. Again, it's dark. Because why not shoot everything in the dark? And she's looking. She's disgusted by what she sees. It's awful. And I can't even tell. I guess it's the chief of police hanging high from a tree. Lynched. The chief of police. Oh no. Is it? Wait, no, that guy's alive. I don't know what the hell's going on. It's like something profound is going on, but it's too dark to see. Okay, it is the chief of police hanging from a noose. He's dead. The chief of police is dead. But who is holding it? I think it's the black guy in the wheelchair who asked if he could hold 200 pounds earlier. And the police's badge is on the ground. The police chief's badge is on the ground, and blood, I think, is dripping onto it. And it's fading to black, and the music is Poor Judd. Poor Judd. I guess that's the end of Oklahoma. Directed by, written by, created and televised by a whole bunch of people that shouldn't have jobs. So that was episode 1, season 1 of Watchmen. Oh my God. Oh my God. I will not be watching this again. I apologize, everybody, for putting you through this. If you want to wait one more minute, I will give you some final comments. I'll be right back. Otherwise, I'll talk to you later. Oh yes, Gary and Doomcock are going to have a field day with this. I'd be shocked if people keep watching it past today. I mean, I'll be honest. When I first read about it, I heard alternate history. Vietnam becomes the 51st state. Nixon was president for like 4 or 5 terms. I was like, oh shit, that sounds cool. I love alternate histories. I have no idea what the hell this garbage was. This was not alternate history. This was just alternate everything. I thought this was supposed to be a superhero, but superheroes don't beat the shit out of people, especially when they don't know for sure they're guilty. I have no idea what I just watched. All I know is that I don't want to watch it again. Kurogan Shills as well. That sucked. Glad I wasn't the one watching. You know what? Game of Thrones, say what you will about it. I don't regret watching the series overall. I do regret that the last season sucked so much. But I don't regret watching what I watched. I mean, it was hell. I mean, we had 4 or 5 seasons of top of the line TV. This is just garbage. This is garbage from the start. I'm not going to watch this. I mean, had this been any other type of alternate history, had they been, I guess, is it woke? I don't even think it's woke. I think it's just stupid. I mean, I'm not sure wokeman is the term for it. I think it's just stupid. I don't know. Calling it woke is almost giving it too much credit. I don't see it particularly woke. Yeah, you got women, particularly black women, beating up a bunch of white guys. And the white guys being the bad guys mostly and getting killed and doing stupid things. But that's par for the course in 2019. This is just stupid. I mean, I would have to think long and hard if this is worse than Star Trek Discovery, objectively. I don't know that I could. I don't know. Thomas's worst DS9 episode ever. Commodore Ty says hello all. Welcome, Commodore Ty. I'm curious, Commodore, if you are going to review this or not. I will look forward to it if you do. Chris Burgess says at least Rosark killed the criminally insane. You see, I know that has something to do with the comics history. I don't know, but I'm just not sure of what went on. Tiki says this is far, far worse than STD. Live with Magic says Vietnam becomes the 51st state. I don't think they understand why we were in Nam in this universe. Well, in this universe, yeah, we win the Vietnam War. They become a state, and Nixon, some superhero or whatever, prevents Watergate from getting out because he doesn't want to see the damage it would do to the nation. So Nixon wins re-election, and he's such a popular president. They overturn the amendment that puts term limits on presidents. So they let Nixon run for presidency as much as he wants, and he's president well into the 1980s. So, I mean, just with that setup, I was like, oh, I had some high hopes that we were going to see something interesting. But man, those hopes were dashed pretty early on. Mike Richards says HBO worth every penny. I gotta be honest, I am not paying for HBO. This was a friend or family member who shares their subscription with me. So I'm not paid for this per se. And believe me, I never will check this. I don't ever anticipate watching another episode again. So should I still watch the movie? Chris Burzer says, Bird of Prey, this has nothing to do with the Alan Moore's comic. This is a deconstruction of entertainment with the name Watchmen slapped on it. Well, then I guess I will still check out the Watchmen movie that people are telling me to check out, because maybe it's better than this. Anyway, guys, I'm going to call it a night. You guys should definitely check out Nerdrotic and Doomcock's stream. I can't wait to hear what they do to this, because, oh my God. It deserves everything they throw at it and more. Good night. Thank you all for hanging out, and Qapla. And I don't intend to do this next week. So, take care all. Good night. Like and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell icon. Without it, you won't get notifications of new videos. Check out BirdoPrey5.com, the new home of everything BirdoPrey5 on the web. You can also check out my forum at juot.net. I'm also on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, and Gab. If you'd like to make a donation, check out paypal.me/BirdoPrey5 or on BirdoPrey5.com. Take care.